Hello and welcome to the Arbitration Conversation. So in this webisode, I have a friend and leader, Morenike Obi-Farinde. Now, she has been a true leader in online dispute resolution in Africa. And in fact, many of my students have looked to her as a mentor. I feel so thankful that she has been such a mentor to so many people in Africa. Really amazing person. So Morenike, first of all, just thank you. Thank you for taking time with us today.
Thank you so much, Amy, for having me, and I'm so excited to be here.
Well, this is going to be fun. So just to give a little background to those who are watching this webisode, Morenike is general commercial and common law and handles large paper-heavy litigation, as well as smaller trials, arbitration, and mediation. She's a fellow and approved tutor of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, as well as a CEDAR accredited mediator. She's a tutor at LMDC, where she has successfully mediated several matters. So first of all, I would love to hear how you came into ODRAfrica and how you got involved, not only in dispute resolution, but also in online dispute resolution, ODR.
Okay, thank you, Amy. First of all, how did I get into ADR? My father was a lawyer. He's late now, but he was a full litigation person. So all he knew to do was to litigate the formal justice system. But just like most countries in sub-Saharan Africa, the formal civil justice system is bursting at its seams with very huge dockets, and you can just begin. So it was that frustration that pushed me into ADR. So I started with arbitration, and then I moved into mediation, and then I now found out that both of them, mediation and arbitration, were actually very good alternatives, and that's how I developed my interest in ADR. And then ODR, a friend of mine in 2006, I believe, invited me to come with him to Cairo. He gave me this idea about people using technology. It was one of the UNODR forums, and that's where I first met a lot of the fellows at the Institute, Mohammed and Ethan, quite a handful of them. And so that was my first foray into ODR, and I was very excited. And so when there was the opportunity to go to British Columbia a few years after, I was there in 2008, and I actually presented a paper about the necessity, because I then came back to Nigeria, and I said, well, there were things people were doing that we could also use. We could also explore technology and see how we could actually improve things like efficiency, speed, even in ADR. And so that endeared me to ODR, and that's how I started. And then I went for a few more of the annual forum and got interested, continued to communicate with some of the other fellows, seeing what they were doing, and then trying to bring that back to Nigeria and Africa and see how we could actually work with technology. But then at that time, we didn't have the type of internet bandwidth that we have now. Things definitely have changed. At that time, we didn't have so many people having access to the internet as we do now. And at that time, even this time last year, if you asked a lot of people to do mediations online, they will tell you, nope, they wouldn't. That they would do that. What is mediation if I cannot see the person, if I cannot read? And so, but I didn't let go. I gave papers at the national conferences of the Chartered Institute of Arbitration, the Nigerian Bar Association a few times, even at the branch level, just to really just talk about the need to use technology to support dispute resolution, because I saw the innumerous benefits, especially with the kind of applications that people came to showcase. That I was always very envious of those people doing so many things, and I thought we could do this too, despite the challenges of access to the internet, good bandwidth, and all of that we had. So that's my story.
Oh, I love it. Well, and the thing is, students of mine in the LLM program who are from Nigeria really look up to your work. And a piece to the puzzle I want to get your thoughts on is really how online dispute resolution in Nigeria in particular is very important with respect to kind of this new technological development that's really just blossoming in Nigeria.
Well, in the last couple of weeks, at least I have personally done a few mediations online, have also done one full arbitration online, and we actually were able to visit the locus live. We actually visited the property that was in dispute live while we were all on this. And what we have used, and for most people, online mediation and online arbitration is almost synonymous with Zoom, unfortunately. But that's the reality, because that is what is readily available. So what ODRAfrica is doing is actually trying to educate, and we're trying to do a lot of training to explain to people that online dispute resolution is not about video conferencing. And actually having online mediation is not just about the video conference call that you have or having an arbitration. There's so many things that you need to take into cognizance and you need to take into consideration even before you start, during, and even after the dispute resolution process. So I would say, well, yes, technology has been able to allow us to do some things, because, for instance, in Lagos State is the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, just like you have New York is to the US. And Nigeria has about 200 million, about 30 million of those people live in Lagos State. So you can begin to imagine the amount of disputes that we have. And so the Lagos High Court is the busiest court in the country. But even the Lagos High Court has been almost on a lockdown since March up until the 28th of September. Because the annual vacation is usually between July and August, the annual court vacation. So between March and July, before the vacation, because of the COVID scenario and the social distancing protocols, it was only urgent, very few urgent matters, and matters which could be taken via Zoom. And there were so few and far in between in the high courts that were taken. So you can imagine what happened. So it was only those who actually had ADR or had the plans or the program for ADR that could actually still continue. The Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse luckily kicked in about June and started to use Zoom for their online mediation. So it was only those cases really that could go. And so I've been trying to say, well, there's so many things we could have done. We could have used the correct platform. The Citizens Mediation Center is the Lagos State Mediation Center, which makes provision for free mediation service, like a community mediation service. And it's done so much work, particularly in the area of landlord-tenant. But they've been shut down. And if they've resumed, they've only resumed on Monday. They've been shut down since the end of March. And so you find so many people just being able to at least vent or at least deal with their disputes. So technology for me, I think, can do a lot for us in this, because we've actually seen it done in some of the private sector arrangements that have been done in the last couple of weeks. So it can work. Well, we're talking now and this is fine, it's clear enough.
Yeah. So I wonder, one thing you said earlier that kind of got me thinking, because yes, we're seeing some use, as you said, of video, not enough, but there's still some use. What about platforms like CREC and text-based dispute resolution? Have you seen any openness, or is there any consideration of using more text-based online dispute resolution?
Well, I would say yes and I would say no. When I say yes, it's a culture thing. You can't compare the Nigerian society, at least the US society, the level of development. Almost everywhere you get to in the US, you have to deal with a computer to do something. You really don't get people. We still are so much people dependent. So because of that culture, having a text-based platform might not be the easiest. But having said that, we're all very used to the mobile telephone. And even from the Pew Research, the idea is that most Africans have actually been able to move to that digital age because of the power of mobile. And so we have applications like WhatsApp, which even people with really low literacy levels can deal with. And so you have a platform like Quick where you can actually merge telephony, because as we all know, whether it's telephone, whether it's email, it's all part of adaptation of technology for dispute resolution to make it efficient. That's what ODR really is all about. So you have things like Quick. So maybe not necessarily using it as a full text-based platform for ODR, but using it in conjunction with the telephone, with WhatsApp, and even with Zoom, because you can always integrate Zoom. So yes, there have been openings. We've actually done a few demonstrations for certain organizations. We're also working to see how we can deploy Modron, and quite a few people have actually showed interest. We've done quite a few demos. So just trying to show people that there's so many things you can do. And because Modron is a blended system, so you have both audio and video and a case management platform all in one. Correct? It's more of a text-based, even though you can integrate telephone and the WhatsApp. So that's how it's worked.
But it's such a great, I agree 100%, the kind of idea of, number one, mobile technology makes a complete difference. And user-centric design is absolutely essential for access to justice, as you note. So if you were to kind of read the future, so if you and I were having this conversation a year from now, do you have any predictions as to where we will see technology and the use of technology in dispute resolution within the next year?
Well, I would say we would move far beyond where we are. We might not see it where we want it to be, but it will definitely get better. And it will get better, I will tell you why. For instance, I was just chatting before we got on this call to some professors in Ghana, in a Ghanaian university. So I'm reaching out to so many people. So many people don't, ODRAfrica, really, let me not say me because we're a group. ODRAfrica is reaching out to so many people just to give them the awareness and to just share with them. So and a lot of people are excited, a lot of people are joining, even people who were so resentful about the idea, all the multi-door courthouses, all of course. For instance, I'm going to be talking to a bunch of lawyers in Oyo State on Friday. I'm going to be sharing with them about modern trends in ADR. And part of it, really, a big part of the modern trends in ADR is technology. So I'm going to be talking to the Bar Association. I've been doing a lot of, so I see, and the reality really is COVID, as just like the National Center for State Courts has said, that what NSDC couldn't do in 10 years, COVID has done in 6 months. So I see, I see us still going, maybe light, if not for COVID, I don't know that we would be where we are today. And I see that things, I'm hoping COVID, well, praying that COVID clears out, but at least it's been able to show us that we just must be able to think and be able to communicate, irregardless of being able to move or leave our geographical spaces. That's it.
Oh, that's great. And I just again want to thank you for your leadership and for being really just out there and making a difference for dispute resolution and helping people and educating them and mentoring them. You really are a true leader and inspiration. So thank you. I just feel really blessed that you took the time with us today. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Amy, for having me. And I am also a fan of yours too, whether you know it or not. And I'm going to be joining your dispute design classes soon if you invite me.
Yes, I'd love to have you. Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. Some of your, well, yeah, that would be amazing. I would actually turn over the microphone to you though and have you teach half of it. Well, listen,
Thanks.
have a wonderful.
And good work on the handshake. Very good. I've read it back to back. Very good work.
Well, hey, we all need, well, of course, now we don't get to have handshakes in the COVID era, right? We'd have to have elbow shakes or something.
Thanks to you.
Hey, take care and have a fantastic rest of your day.